Indian reformers and education. During the course of nationalist movement, many Indians began to question the educational policies of the British. Though most of them agreed that Western education would awaken Indians, they firmly believed that it was also needed to be rooted to Indian culture. Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was a great supporter of English education on Western lines. He established the Hindu College at Calcutta. In 1825, he founded the Vedanta College, which had courses both in Indian learning and Western social and physical sciences. Through his initiative, Calcutta Medical College and Elphinstone College were started in Bombay. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He wrote a Bengali primer, Barna Parichaya, which had simplified learning of the language and is still in use. He encouraged education and is said to have set up 35 girls' schools and granted scholarships to poor. Dayanand Saraswati. He was the founder of Arya Samaj. His most outstanding contribution has been in the field of education. A large number of Dayanand Anglo-Vedic DAV schools and colleges were started where education was imparted in Hindi and English. He also started Gurukuls. Swami Vivekananda. He founded the Ramakrishna Mission in 1896 to carry on humanitarian and social work. Character building among the youth was his main concern. For material improvement of the common people, he advocated the study of Western science along with Vedanta. Annie Besant. Her contribution was especially significant in the field of education. She was the second president of the Theosophical Society that set up schools for boys and girls. Annie Besant founded the Central High School at Banaras. She set up a new school for boys in Banaras named Central Hindu College. Later on, Annie Besant and Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya worked jointly to establish a common Hindu university at Banaras. Banaras Hindu University, BHU, started functioning in 1917 and Central Hindu College became its first constituent college. Trivia. The Theosophical Society was founded in 1875. It's a worldwide body. Its main aim is universal brotherhood without any distinction. Annie Besant was the second president of Theosophical Society. Aligarh Movement, a case study. In Aligarh, Western education began largely due to the efforts of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was a reformer and wanted to modernize the Muslims. He also set up the Scientific Society at Aligarh to encourage rational thinking. In the beginning, he devoted himself to religious aspects. He tried to reinterpret Islam and bring it closer to the modern science to adapt itself in the modern times. He wanted to create a scientific temperament among the Muslims of India and wanted to make the Western knowledge of science available to them. His scientific society translated scientific works into Urdu so that common people could understand them. He championed the cause of modern education at a time when all the Indians in general and Muslims in particular considered it a sin to get modern education, and that too in English language. In 1875, Sir Syed Ahmad established the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, MAO, at Aligarh, which later became the Aligarh Muslim University. In this institution, he introduced the technical education along with the study of arts and sciences, and the medium of instruction was English. Baroda. The English educational policy was not applicable in the states which were ruled by Indian princes. In the princely state of Baroda, now Vadodara, there was a great progress in education due to the efforts of Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad III. He introduced free and compulsory primary education in Baroda. On the occasion of Diamond Jubilee of his accession to the throne, he set apart large funds out of his personal belongings as well as state funds for setting up a university at Baroda for the benefit of students from the rural areas of his state. He supported education and training and patronized Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, the architect of the Indian Constitution, and Dadabhai Naoroji, who started his public life as the Diwan of Maharaja. He used to visit England every year to select outstanding young people to join his service, and in one of such visits, he met Sri Aurobindo, whom he immediately offered a job in Baroda College. Sir Aurobindo returned to India in 1893 to join Baroda College. He also established several centers of higher learning such as the Kala Bhavan Technical Institute. To encourage his people to read, he organized a public library system in India. In 1871, Baroda state did not have single government school. In 1891, an order was passed that each village had to maintain a schoolmaster. In 1907, primary education was made compulsory for boys aged 7 to 12 and girls aged 7 to 10. What he started was ultimately completed by his grandson, Sir Pratap Singh Rao Gaikwad, who founded the Maharaja Sayaji Rao University and settled the trust as desired by his grandfather. This trust, known as Sayaji Rao Diamond Jubilee Trust, exists till today and caters to the educational and other needs of the people of the former state of Baroda. Concept of national education. British officials were not the only people who were thinking about education in India. Many thinkers from different parts of India began to talk about the need of and wider spread of education. Impressed with the developments in Europe, some Indians felt that Western education would help to modernize India. They urged the British to open more schools, colleges and universities and spend more money on education. There were other Indians, however, who reacted against the Western education like Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. At that time, there were two outstanding experiments undertaken by Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. Both influenced by Western education, still looked for giving a unique Indian identity to the students. In setting up of Shantiniketan, Tagore was able to fulfill his dream. Open-air education, as opposed to cramped in the four walls of a classroom, became a reality here. At the Kala Bhavan and Sangeet Bhavan, the arts were given their rightful place in the Indian education system. Eminent people from all over the world came to Vishwa Bharati during its peak period. The concept of education, according to Gandhiji, was very different from anyone else's. The core of his proposal was the introduction of productive handicrafts such as spinning, weaving, basket making and bookbinding in schools' curriculum. He wanted the schools to be self-supporting. Gandhiji wanted to avoid dependence on the state. He wanted to free the Indian teacher from external interference, particularly government or state bureaucracy. Gandhiji's plan implied the end of teacher subservience to the prescribed textbook and the curriculum. Trivia. The world's first university was established in Takshila or Takshashila, now in Pakistan, in 700 BC. It offered over 60 different courses in various fields such as science, mathematics, medicine, politics, warfare, astrology, astronomy, music, religion and philosophy.